It's the international break, which means the three lions are in action, winning / drawing / losing against the Czech Republic last night. I made this video before the game, so who knows what happened, but what a goal by Wayne Rooney, eh? And it's good to see Clean Rooney and Rebecca Vardy are friends once again. Anyway, Gareth Southgate loves blooding in young players, so here is every Premier League club's player who is most likely to get an England debut. Arsenal, Reiss Nelson. The current England setup isn't littered with Arsenal players, but there are multiple youngsters who are on the cusp of a call-up in the near future. We had a few to pick from, but we've decided to go with Reiss Nelson. The teenage winger spent last season on loan in the Bundesliga, and now he's getting minutes in the Arsenal first team. He's an England under-21 international, and while someone like Joe Willock is arguably more impressive, Nelson has more of a chance of getting in the squad due to the options Southgate already has in the middle compared to out wide. Aston Villa, Jack Grealish. Tyrone Mings might be in the England squad, but unless he played last night and I've made a tit of myself, I still think Grealish is more likely to get a debut sooner rather than later. The midfielder turned down Ireland to represent the three lions but still hasn't got a debut, but in the Premier League with Villa he's proving he has the quality as well as being a leader. He's a mature player, which will make him perfect for Gareth Southgate. Bournemouth, Aaron Ramsdale. The goalkeeper's got his chance in the Premier League this season and he's really taking it, settling in despite just being 21, which is very young for a goalkeeper. And with the way he's playing, an England call-up has to be on the horizon, especially with Dean Henderson just getting a call-up himself. Ramsdale can't be far behind and is the next Bournemouth player likely to get an England debut. Brighton, Adam Webster. One Brighton defender in Lewis Dunk already has an England cap, but could Adam Webster join him? The defender signed from Bristol City this summer and has enjoyed a strong start at the Amex. He can play out from the back and he's confident in possession. He's everything Southgate wants from a defender. And with England's centre-back options not great right now, Webster might fancy his chances of breaking into the squad. Burnley, Dwight McNeil. The teenager has settled into Premier League life with ease and is already a first-team regular at Turf Moor, emerging from the youth side out of nowhere. McNeil loves an assist and uses the ball well, which could make him a good fit for England. If he continues to improve, Southgate can't afford to ignore him. If a Burnley player is going to get in the England squad, it'll be him or Ashley Barnes, and I think that ship has sailed for the latter. Chelsea's FIKAYO Tomori. He's in the current squad, meaning there's a pretty good chance a debut is on his way. Tomori is part of Chelsea's three lions, now dominating the England squad thanks to Frank Lampard trusting in them and giving them a chance in the Premier League. Tomori is athletic and brave, and will get an England debut before the end of 2019 I'm sure, maybe even before the end of the week. Crystal Palace, Nia Kirby. Christ, this was difficult. Since Wan-Bissaka left, Palace don't really have anyone in their squad who could make an England debut soon. We've had to go with Nia Kirby, who is a teenage midfielder who hasn't even made the Premier League debut yet. But he did win the Under-17 World Cup back in 2017, so then maybe there's a chance he could follow the likes of Jadon Sancho and Callum Hudson-Odoi into the senior squad. Everton, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. To be fair, I'm surprised Calvert-Lewin hasn't already played for England. He's hardly prolific, but if someone like Dominic Solanke can get a cap, you'd think Calvert-Lewin could too. The Everton striker is their number 9 now and has been their main man so far this season, but has just 2 league goals to his name. Although the most he's ever scored in a season is 6, so I suppose he'd probably beat that. Will he ever get a cap? Maybe, probably at least one, yeah. Leicester City, James Maddison. I was dead worried picking James Maddison here, as I knew he was in the current England squad and might have played last night, but after withdrawing due to illness, my prayers were answered. There's no doubt that Maddison is a future England international. If anything, it's criminal that he hasn't already played for his country. Liverpool, Harvey Elliott. I've taken a risk here and picked Elliott over Brewster, but the former Fulham man was sensational in the League Cup the other week against MK Dons, and Jurgen Klopp must be keen to see what he can do in the Premier League in the near future. In contrast, Brewster hasn't really had a look in yet, meaning Elliott might be the first of the two to get a call-up and a cap from good old Gareth Southgate. Manchester City, Phil Foden. It's only a matter of time before Phil Foden is called up to the England senior squad and gets his Three Lions debut. It's not a case of if, but when. He's got all the talent in the world, and he's learning from the best, soaking it all up like a sponge. The only worry is the lack of minutes he's getting, but when he does play he impresses, and he'll surely do the same in an England shirt in the near future, potentially even at Euro 2020. Manchester United, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Had it not been for injury, Wan-Bissaka would probably already have an England cap, but here we are, the Manchester United summer signing is yet to make his England debut, but it definitely isn't far away at all. He'll definitely be the next Man United man to get an England debut, unless Axel Tuanzebe speeds ahead of him of course, there is a chance that might happen. Newcastle United, Sean Longstaff. His little brother was a hero last week against Manchester United, but big bro Sean is the most likely to get an England debut first. He's the most likely of anyone at Newcastle, as Southgate doesn't seem to fancy Jamal Lascelles. But Longstaff certainly has a chance. He's got a great engine on him, can use the ball well and break up play, which is why he's such a hit at Newcastle and could do a job at international level too. Norwich City Ben Godfrey. It was a choice of three here: Godfrey, Max Aarons or Todd Cantwell. But I think it'll be easier to get in the England squad as a centre back, so we think Godfrey's got a better chance. The youngster is confident in possession and can play off from the back, which is what Southgate wants, as we've already said, and he's a leader too, having already captained the England under-21 side. Sheffield United Dean Henderson. He's in the current England squad for the first time ever after Tom Heaton's injury, meaning the next milestone for Dean Henderson is an England cap. At 22 he could be a future three lions number 1, which is currently Jordan Pickford, and likely will be for a very long time. But Henderson might get his time one day. Southampton Angus Gunn. Another young goalkeeper who could play for the three lions in the future. Angus Gunn has previously been in an England squad but never played, and has also turned down the chance to play for Scotland. Gunn is currently 23 and is part of a long list of goalkeepers who will hope to get an England debut in the coming years. Ramsdale, Henderson or Gunn, who will get there first? Tottenham Ryan Sessegnon. One of their few summer signings, Ryan Sessegnon has yet to make a Spurs debut, but when he does, it'll be the start of the road to his England debut. There were rumours he was nearly picked for the 2018 World Cup, but that obviously didn't happen. However, we saw in his Fulham days that Sessegnon is a future star, and the 19-year-old will definitely play for England at some point, but first he needs to play for Tottenham and impress. Watford Will Hughes. I'm surprised that Will Hughes hasn't actually played for England yet. He's a lovely footballer to watch. He's 24 now and the chance might have passed him by, but if Hughes can string together a decent run of form in a Watford shirt, then he can surely get an England cap. Far worse midfielders than him have got a cap after all, but maybe it just isn't to be for Hughes in England. West Ham Grady DIANGANA. The exciting winger got his Premier League debut last season and immediately impressed with his boldness with the ball to drive at defenders with close dribbling and speed. He's currently on loan at West Brom, showing he has end product too, so if he can take that back to West Ham with him, then he might just become an England senior player, something his captain Mark Noble never could do. And finally Wolves Morgan Gibbs-WHITE. If Connor Cody was going to get an England call-up, it probably would have came last season, but it didn't, so we're going to ignore him and go with Morgan Gibbs-WHITE as the most likely Wolves player to get an England debut next. He's played at every youth level for the Three Lions, is learning from some top players at Wolves, and when he is an established starter in the Premier League, Gareth Southgate or whoever the England manager is then will likely be on the phone. So that's every Premier League clubs player who will most likely get an England debut next. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.